This is me minutes away from completing one of the most unusual fashion outfits worn by Kim Kardashian. How did I get here? It all started when I, your average woman, wondered what it would be like to eat, train, and dress like the most influential supermodels around the world. Is it as glamorous as it looks? Do they eat enough calories? Are they hungry all the time? Is it healthy? And is it an effective and safe diet strategy for a regular person? I'm going to track my calories for the day and keep them around 1,300 to find out. This is what 1,000 calories looks like in one meal, almost the entire daily average for a supermodel. I started this with finding out what the 4 most popular supermodels eat on an average day. Then I purchased the groceries I would need that I didn't already have. I'm going to be honest with you, I did not have a lot of fresh produce in the house, so this cost me a little bit more than I anticipated for one day. With this, I was ready. I started my day off bright and early with some meditation and warm lemon water, as a lot of supermodels wake up early to complete their morning wellness routines. I can understand how their mornings could be perceived as fun and relaxing if they have a lot of time. But generally speaking, my mornings are early and rushed. Waking up early in the morning? No. No. To have a wellness routine would mean sacrificing sleep. Also, the lemon water was gross. Moving on. Meal 1, aka breakfast, comes from supermodel Romy Strid, who was a former Victoria's Secret model, currently modeling for top designer brands worldwide, and has her own successful YouTube channel. One of her go-to breakfasts is avocado and eggs on toast. A millennial staple. I am no chef, but I can work my way around a kitchen. Oh no. It is not my favorite thing to do, so any time spent cooking feels like a chore, especially when I have a busy schedule. There's way too many things happening at once, I can't handle this. And avocados are expensive. Although this is a tasty breakfast with healthy fats, good protein, and empty carbs, this is good. For me, it's a weekend treat breakfast with its cost and practicality. This breakfast is sitting just under 500 calories and was effective at filling me up. For a supermodel, your body is your job, so I made sure to prioritize working out early in the day. Motivation for me to work out is often difficult to come by, even though I'm someone who really enjoys physical activity. So I wanted to get it out of the way as soon as possible to ensure I would actually do it. I did the Victoria's Secret full body workout as it was specifically designed for a super lean runway physique. The workout was incredibly ab heavy, starting with 2 sets of 100 abs. My abs are burning. 100 abs is too many abs. The rest consisted mainly of bodyweight exercises and did not utilize any heavy resistance. I believe this is to make sure that they don't bulk up. Not that I think that would be an issue with a little bit more resistance. There was a couple of exercises that I had no idea what they were and could not figure them out for the life of me. Laying down, thrust your hips into the air whilst doing 20 tricep extensions.
There's no way.
Skip. However, the workout was still challenging. I managed to work up quite a sweat. I'm feeling quite sweaty and had a slight bit of muscle soreness the next day. I felt quite relieved with the workout complete, but the day wasn't even close to over. It was just beginning. When does the weird fashion come into the picture? Well, that began to unravel when I had an idea. In order to experience a true day in the life of a supermodel, I need to recreate some outrageous high fashion. I have found 3 outfits to try. First outfit being this. Kim Kardashian wrapped in expensive Balenciaga caution tape. This was nothing short of time consuming. How am I supposed to get it over my butt? This is amazing. I grabbed a few rolls of caution tape I found at a local hardware store and got a friend to wrap my whole body in it, securing it with sticky tape. Regular day's work. I had to stay so still with all of the wrapping that my body started to cramp after about an hour. And wow, was I sweaty.
Feel it wet. You can see this, the water pooling.
The plastic was incredibly hard to move in and, in my opinion, not a practical wardrobe choice. But I have a lot more respect for what some models have to go through. I have worked up quite an appetite. Let's go with some food. Lunch comes from supermodel Kendall Jenner, who was not only a model, but media personality and part of the Kardashian family. This meal doesn't have a name. I don't know what you would call it besides more veggies means more health, probably. The meal. It contains a little bit of everything. This increased the difficulty and pressure of making it, as I did not want to spend all day in the kitchen.
I'm really hoping that lunch is a little bit smoother and looks maybe a little bit nicer than breakfast did.
And inevitably, things started to go downhill very quickly.
Oh, definitely added way too much seasoning to that fish. I'm gonna toast some pine nuts. These are burnt out.
The meal contained 350 calories, a small amount considering the size of the meal. That is because it intentionally had very little fat and oil.
Because calorie restriction. It definitely tastes like health, if I was to describe it.
The prep time was long, taking me about 40 minutes to prepare the whole meal. Not practical for me on any real day. And purchasing the groceries for this meal cost me $23.90.
Eating like a model seems pretty wholesome and nutritious at this stage.
Regardless of how fancy and nutritious this meal looked, as a real person, I can't.
Now to go do some more
The next runway fashion outfit required some creativity on my part. I got an old white bed sheet I was no longer using and cut it into the rough outline of the picture and sewed it together.
bed sheet turned fashion runway.
The strangest part, there were no armholes. Think about it. I wouldn't be buying this outfit off the shelf. And I used some pillows to stuff it and fill out the sides to give the suit some shape. I did have to prop my arms up into unnatural positions to hold the pillows in place.
Does this look like fashion?
Then I got an entire grocery store supply of steel wool to fashion the metal hairpiece. It was like molding clay, but metal. The end result? How models keep a straight face wearing this stuff? I cannot figure it out. I was starting to get hungry, so it felt like the right time for a snack. I got one from high fashion supermodel Bella Hadid, who does many campaigns for designer brands including Dior, Versace, and Fendi. Her favourite snack is celery and cashew butter. When I'm eating a snack, the reason is usually 80% because I want something tasty and 20% I actually need sustenance. It is not worth eating something that's lame.
Wow, that is more awful than I thought it would be.
And so I'm never eating this again. At this point, the calorie restriction was affecting me and the snack
Is nasty.
I am hungry, and if I'm sticking to this calorie restriction, I can't eat until dinner. This day is starting to lose its fun factor. With every minute that went by, it was getting harder and harder to not cave and just eat something even though it wasn't in the plan. I pushed on. The last runway outfit of the day was the vertical bed dress. I borrowed a red sleeping bag from a friend and filled it with leftover bits of the white bed sheet I'd used earlier. I found some pillows around the house to put behind my head. Without having the resource to defy gravity in the short window of time I had, I used a bird's eye view shot to my advantage. It did make walking in this one impossible though. This occupied me long enough to wait for dinner, which came from Gigi Hadid, the younger sister of earlier seen Bella Hadid, who is also an extremely popular supermodel and media personality. Gigi has said she has to have a burger every now and again to not go insane.
I love burgers!
Now this I could agree with, and it reduced my hunger ever so slightly. I stuck to a simple burger as I would not have been able to handle another elaborate meal with lots of steps after a full day and an empty stomach. I made the burger patties from scratch and added a bit of seasoning and an egg for some bonus protein. I appreciate how normal this meal seems from a model, but obviously not to be consumed daily, as most burgers are not healthy and have a significantly higher calorie count. That would be unrealistic unless she has a metabolism of a horse. This burger had just over 300 calories because that's all the calories left that I could afford for the rest of the day with the supermodel restriction. The burger was dry but tasted so good when hungry.
Yeah, definitely the best of the day.
And the groceries set me back $28.89.
All up for today, it's just over $1,300.
I'm a 29-year-old moderately active female, and according to the Institute of Medicine, I should be having between 2,000 and 2,200 calories per day, not 1,300 calories. 1,300 is much closer to the recommendation of a 4 to 8-year-old sedentary child. This is an unhealthy deficit. When trying to lose weight, you should not be in a deficit greater than 5 to 10% to maintain long-term healthy weight loss. The larger the deficit, the more stress and internal disruption to vital bodily functions. For example, it can result in menstrual disturbances for women. Not ideal.
Looking good should not come at the cost of your health.
You and your body are worth looking after. If I kept this up, it would not go well for me, and likely the same case for supermodels with extreme restriction. For me, I can't sustain such meals unless I were food prepping in advance, but honestly, I'm usually not organized enough to do that. And the cost was higher than anticipated for one day. However, generally speaking, you'd be using more of those ingredients for other meals throughout the week. Still very expensive though. That is all for this one. If you like the video, subscribe and check out this video right here where I recreated Disney princess stunts. It was really hard and took me over 9 months to make, so I'd really appreciate if you go and give it a watch. Please.